All right. Hey, everybody. I am Meg from Loven Stamps, and I am excited to share with you a project this morning that will help you get in the mood for the holidays. So I know we've just crossed into October, the holidays, Christmas, far away. So this is a great time to be getting ready for it so that you are just able to enjoy the holidays when they finally arrive, because you've already gotten everything done. Doesn't it sound like a fabulous dream come true? No rushing, no trying to figure out what you've forgotten, because you're going to have a fabulous Christmas planner that is ready to pull out and use for your holiday planning. So you'll be so organized. It'll be fabulous. So we're going to use one of these 5x8 notebooks. You can get them from any place that you buy office supplies. And we're going to get this covered and decorated, and the festive mood will just be fabulous. The project that I'm going to show you is one of my most requested projects. It's perennial. You can use them for any season. They make great gifts for teachers or back to school or all kinds of things. Definitely not just for the holidays. So tuck this one away. If you're not ready to start your holiday planning yet, maybe you want to make a Thanksgiving notebook or a Halloween notebook, but we're going to do the Christmas version so that we are all set and ready to go. All right. Say hi if you're jumping in to watch from somewhere, and I'm going to switch my camera over so that we can get started with our project. All right. So like I said, we have here our notebook. We have our Christmas lights to be prepared, and we have the Merry and Bright stamp set along with the Merry and Bright dies that coordinate. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why these dies are so fabulous. It's a trend that Stampin' Up! Has put into their dies for the last few months, at least, a couple catalogs worth. And the thing that is so fabulous about these is that they're multiples of the important dies that you're going to want to use over and over again, right? Like, who has ever heard of a strand of Christmas lights with one bulb on it? No one. That's no good. So the great thing about this die set is that you get doubles of the important die pieces that you're going to need to die cut over and over again. So it's going to save you a lot of time, which is all part of having your holiday prep ready, right? All right, so with that in mind, let us get stamping. We're going to pull some pieces together for this project, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to go ahead and assemble everything. So I have three ink pads here, and they coordinate with our Merry Bold and Bright Designer Series paper. This paper is one of my favorites with the bright colors, lots of saturation. You can certainly use it for things outside of Christmas. There's a lot of great rainbow kinds of things in it. There are these papers with the Christmas lights, but then on the back of them are things that are not necessarily Christmas specific, like stripes and so forth. So here's that rainbow stripe in there. You've seen me use this paper a few times with different suites or different other stamp sets, and I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and do some stamping. There are two different shaped lights in this set. I am going to start with my crushed curry, and we're going to do the roundy lights for this particular one. And the die for this, I'll show you sort of what to do and what I didn't do correctly. The die for this actually is going to cut kind of a base behind the bulb, which is going to give you an attachment point or a place to stamp your cute toppers. And so I'm going to try and remember to leave myself a spot for that die to stick off the edge. Of course, you'll want your Stampin' scrub handy, and I generally go from lightest to darkest here on my stamping. We're going to add some Granny Apple Green bulbs here, and then I think I have room for the other three on the other side, because like I said, whoever ever heard of a strand of bulbs with just one light bulb on it. And then Poppy Parade is going to be my last. As I said, these colors are inspired by the Designer Series paper. I love that Stampin' Up! Artists kind of put that paper coloring together for us, and then we don't have to stress about what colors to use because Stampin' Up! Has already told us these are the colors that match. And then we know they're going to match the other parts of our project too. All right, so we have our lights set there. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Sue. Morning, Margie. And we're going to go ahead and die cut these. So here are my dies. This is a hint that I've showed you many times, but if you haven't seen it yet, I'll just point it out. I really love to use a little piece of washi tape on the side of my dies so that when I go to cut these out, I can just tape my die on there. And then it's really easy to carry over to my die cut machine and so forth. Now, the other trick that I'm going to show you with these is that now I'm really efficient with my paper usage so that I could stamp these close together and I'll die cut them fine, but not at the same time. The dies really don't like to be overlapped like this. They would much rather be adjacent than overlapped. So when I'm die cutting something repetitive like this, I try to die cut kind of like 2 and 2 and 2 so that I can use the double dies and run them through all at the same time. So we will die cut these and through the magic of television. Don't you guys wish that the magic of television existed like in our real like everyday stamping? I have all of these put together. So these multiple dies in these newer Stampin' Up! Die sets, this is like the magic of television created for you, okay? So lots and lots of great options for these. And then we're going to need some little bases for these bulbs. And for this, I have pulled in the fabulous Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green, what's this paper? Granny Apple Green Shimmer, that's the technical term. Foil sheets, goodness gracious. Foil sheets. And so for these foil sheets, what you want to remember to do is cut off a piece that is about the right size for what you want to die cut. Because the more times you put the foil sheet through your die cut machine, hey, you can see the reflection on the ceiling, which is my ceiling fan. The more time you put these through, the more marked up they're going to get by your cutting plates. And so I just find that I cut small pieces that fit what I want, and then I pop these on. Now, another speed saving trick for you. We are all about speed saving for our organizer planner today. The other thing that I like to do is sometimes I'll tape 2 dies together, even though they're not die cutting anything, because what it does is it means that I only have to place really one time. I'm just gonna drop those on there, tape it down and cut it, and then I'll peel them off and they'll stay together and I'll move them over and die cut again, because then I only have to worry about placing one time. So save yourself some time and remember that little trick there. This die set includes the open box dies here for doing the stamp and die cut, or these fancy closed ones with these little lines in them, which I think are darling. And we are going to go ahead and use those. So I've cut them also through the magic of television. We have our cute little foiled green. Isn't that pretty with a gold or a green foil? This is such a pretty paper. If I don't use all of the green and pink before the holidays, I am quite certain that I will be able to use them into spring. The green and the pink, they're Granny Apple Green and Melon Mambo. They call out tulips to me, so I see them in the spring. Or certainly this Melon Mambo foil is going to be great for Valentine's kinds of things. Hello, hi guys. So definitely supplies that you'll want to have on hand. So now you can see why I was happy to have that extra space at the bottom, which I did vaguely successfully on these. Hi, Barb. And so I'm going to grab my multi-purpose liquid glue here, which hasn't been sitting in its little cup where it belongs. I usually store it like this. So I'm going to tap this down, and I'm going to put just a little droplet of glue on the bottom of each of these. They'll be plenty adhered, so I'm not too worried, even though it's a planner and it kind of has that sort of put it in your backpack, put it in your purse wear and tear. It's going to have lots of attachment points. And then I'm just going to drop these on here. So then when we're attaching our bulbs to our finished notebook here, they will already be ready to go for us. And I'm going to give you a hint that I didn't know, and it hadn't occurred to me when I first made my sample notebook. So we're going to fix it on this version that we're making today. So this is actually one of the projects for monthly tutorials, Loven Stamps monthly tutorials for the month of October. So I'll be featuring the Merry Bold and Bright Suite, which includes this fun stamp set and the foil sheets and the designer series paper. So you'll see 4 different projects from me, and you'll get those as a free PDF tutorial is a thank you for ordering from my online store this week. And then, not this week, this month, any size order during the month of October will get you that PDF tutorial that you can download. And then 2 of the projects will be, not this one, but 2 of the other projects will be available as card kits to go. If your order is $50 or more, you'll get 2 kits to make them in the mail. So All right, so let's switch base here. Oh, and rest assured, if you are a Loven Stampfuls demonstrator, so if you're part of my demonstrator team, you'll also get those tutorials. So that's a perk of being a part of my team. So, all right, and if you are looking for them and not placing an order, I will have them on my Etsy shop, Loven Stamps Card Mart, soon or later, probably later. It'll be in October, will be November, or sometime shortly after there. I'm a little behind in getting those posted, but hang in there, they'll be there. All right, so we have here a piece of cardstock. This is Poppy Parade, and it's going to be used to cover our notebook. So you can adjust this project for different size notebooks, whatever works for you. My notebooks that I really love the most are 5x8. I just found the convenience of this size, and they're fairly inexpensive. And so our cardstock is cut to 8 inches tall, and then we're going to go ahead and score it for our 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to score 5 inches. This is going to be the back of our notebook cover, and then a 1/4 inch more, so 5 1/4. And this is going to be the spine. So we have a 1/4 inch for the width of our notebook. And then we're going to go across here. And instead of doing 10 1/4, I'm going to give myself an extra 1/8 of an inch. So one line further at 10 3/8, which is going to mean that the front of our cover is going to have plenty of space to fully cover the front of our notebook. So what I find is if I score this right at 5 inches across here to match the notebook, it tends to end up wanting to finish like this, and I don't love having this extra bit. You can put an extra sheet of paper on the inside to cover that up, but my solution lately has been to leave this 3/8 inch piece here, and this little bit I fold under, and this is going to be the leading edge of our notebook cover here, and it just makes it a little bit sturdier. Now you do want to make sure that you glue this down thoroughly, so I'm actually going to go crazy here and use the tear tape, which might help make you remember what you're supposed to do with this part too. So it's more visual than just gluing, but I want this to go all the way from the top corner to the bottom corner. And if you have trouble peeling the backing off tear tape, just remember to push harder on the adhesive, because the harder you push it down, the more and then we'll burnish it here, the more the adhesive sticks to the paper, so then the backing will come free more easily. All right, so that's going to be the leading edge of our notebook, and then we're going to fold here on these score lines, the other two that we put in here, and I think I could have scored more aggressively here today. These are not wanting to fold. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got our score on those also. And so now we have like a little folder here, and this is that folded edge that I showed you. And our notebook is going to fit right inside like this. And you can see how close we are to the edge here. So if I had scored this right at 5 inches, it would be really close to showing on the back. Now it does sometimes show a tiny bit on the back. I don't worry about it. It's the back of the notebook. I'm gonna call that fine. Hey, Becky. So let's look at adhering to our notebook here. So the first thing I want to do is cover up this as much as I think that this black and white is very nice and so forth. I want to cover this. So I have a 5-inch wide piece of designer series paper. This is a great way to use those scraps that are left in the bottom of the package when you've got lots of designer series paper scraps left. And I'm just going to put my adhesive on here to make my life easier. I'm going to line this up right here at the bottom of our notebook front. And I'm going to flip it over and add some more adhesive here on the back. Again, you could use tear tape for this. The advantage that I like about the multi-purpose liquid glue is that you can shift things around a tiny bit. The disadvantage is that they shift around a tiny bit, so you have to be a little bit deliberate about holding things in place. But there we have our notebook cover. And I don't bother to score this. I just do sort of a roundy finish there as I put that in place. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my multi-purpose liquid glue, get a good amount on here, and then all the way out to the edges and all the way to the top. And then I'm going to slide this into, I just got glue on my finger. I'll just wipe that in there. I'm going to slide this into our folder, and then we're going to work on decorating the top. So usually what I do is I slide this all the way down to the spine, so it's kind of set into that folder down there. And then I'm going to set it on my table so that it doesn't pop out the bottom. Sometimes I have to push that up just a little bit, but then we have our notebook covered and set on here. Okay. And it takes just a second for that glue to grab, so don't mess too much until you've got it set. But there you can see how easy that little notebook covering is. So this is like a giant card front, which is super fabulous when you have something like these fantastic light strings and they're just a little bit bigger. You can use them on a card, of course, but I love having a bigger palette to work with because it gives you more space to show off those favorite items. So what to cover this with? The first thing that I like to do just to sort of finish our card front idea is to cover this with a piece of cardstock that is just a little bit inside. So the front here is going to be 5 3/8 by 8. So this piece here is going to be 5 1/8 by 7 3/4, so just a 1/4 inch smaller. And you might see some fun embossing on here. No sense in avoiding Christmas, right? We've got lots of cool. This is the Merry Tunes. I actually can't remember the name of this one offhand, but it is in the video description. There's a link, or in the comments actually. There is a link to the supplies for this project, and this one is listed there. And what I like to do is cover the bottom and the top, or whichever way this is going to go, top and bottom of this, and then this is going to fit on our notebook. Now, you might be thinking, but Meg, that doesn't cover your whole paper. You have a big space in the middle. That's okay. Hey, Cheryl. It's okay because we're going to go ahead and pop some designer series paper strips on here. And this is where that mix and match designer series paper is so fabulous. Lots of choices. And you can, turn them over, use the backs, use the fronts. I love the bold colors on this and the chance to just really kind of feature some of those bold designs that sort of take up a bunch of space. So that is going to cover that inside part where it's obviously you can't reach it with a folder. So you're going to cover that up with some paper that is adding to your design, okay? All right, but definitely a great tool to add some holiday cheer. So let's go ahead and before we stick this down, we're gonna go ahead and pop these on here. And again, I really like to use multi-purpose liquid glue for these. And I get much closer to the edge than I would on a card. This is something that, it's your holiday planner. You want to keep it handy, right? So it's going to be tucked in your purse or your bag or whatever you carry and pulled out when you need to check your lists or something. Make a list and check it twice. So you want to make sure that your adhesive goes to the edge so that you have everything covered and you don't end up catching edges and damaging it in your bag. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and pop our piece on here. Now I'm also not attaching this yet because we have a ribbon that we're going to pop on here that's going to tie our cute notebook shut. And so that is going to fit underneath here. And the cardstock layer is a great way to have that added, that ribbon added. So hold off for that. So we've got this set here. This is also a great chance. If you haven't cut everything exactly the same width, you can go ahead and pop this in your trimmer and cut a little bit off. Merry Melody, thank you, Sue. Yes, the Merry Melody folder here is the one with those notes. So, and it actually does have a direction to it. I'm showing it to you upside down. You can see with the music clefs here on the side that it has a direction. Sometimes if no one's paying too much attention, you can get away with using them upside down in the project, which actually these are right side up and that one's upside down, but we're going to pretend that no one's going to look that closely and notice. Only my music friends. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right, so we've got our notebook front here well underway. And the next thing I want to do is figure out how to add in these fun Christmas lights that we've made, right? So included in this die is this fantastic little light string artsy piece. And you could use this for anything. It could be vines for flowers. It could be just a decorative edge. But I adore it for the lights because it's just super decorative. And so I have this. Both lines get cut in one cut of the die. And I have this that I have die cut here from our piece of the Granny Apple Green foil sheet. And this looks splendid here with our other greens and reds in the background, okay? Now, this is the part where I didn't quite get my act together on this. I'm gonna kind of arrange these off to the side. I like to do things like on the third line often, and I might kind of extend them this way. But when I did this the first time, I went ahead and I just set these on top here, which is okay. But honestly, if you string them on, they're so much cuter. So take an extra moment and string your lights on. And let's see, I think I'm gonna string 2 on here. And then I have this one, I'm gonna put the other 4 on here. So I'm gonna mix and match my bulbs so that I have red, let's see, green's the top. So now I need a red one here. So we've got Sweet Sorbet next. And then a yellow next so that I don't have my 2 reds together. And then I've got my Poppy Parade left, so I'm gonna pop this one on here. So I've got my colors staggered and so forth. And this has managed to move itself kind of to the center of our notebook, and I want it to stay a little bit on the 3rd line more. So I'm gonna scoot this kind of to the angle here. And we're gonna pop these kind of up here so that we have this a little bit more to the side. If I pop this down. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, that's really great, Meg, how are you gonna attach that little tiny narrow strip there? The answer to that is I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So we're gonna put a little glue under it, but we are going to mostly attach our bulbs here. And usually on a card, I would go ahead and put these bulbs on with a Stampin' Dimensional so that they're extra poppy-uppy and cute. But we are going to go ahead and pull this over. I'm gonna switch it to the back side. I'm gonna go ahead and attach them flat with multi-purpose liquid glue because I don't want them to catch. So again, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue out here on my, this is super sketchy here to do on my table. Let's put this on a piece of grid paper. There's no sense in being crazy, right, about where we're gluing. So let me move this over so you can see. My favorite refrain with this multi-purpose glue is if you can see the glue, it is enough. So it does not take very much. It is very strong stuff. You could also put the the embossing machine adhesive sheets on the back of here, and then it would have its own adhesive attached to it. So whatever your model is, if you're using this glue, remember to set it up this way between uses. So it's really easy to want to set it on this nice wide like holder base, but that's going to make your glue harder to use. So, all right, let's get this flipped over now. Okay, we've got our little light bulbs hanging on there, and we're going to pop them. So this is where it's really nice to have kind of gotten an idea of where you wanted those bulbs to fall first, so that when you go to put them on your project, then you have kind of an idea of where you are sticking things. All right, so we're gonna pop this a little bit further down here, and there we go. All right, now, one of the nice things to do here, I think I'm gonna do this one a little bit differently. One of the nice things to do here is to go ahead and set things on here to make sure that your glue is having the best chance of adhering, okay? And I am going to, let's see, we're gonna do a version 2 here of our attaching point. So we're gonna give that a second to grab. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place this bulb where I want it, which is gonna be down here. And now I'm gonna string the string of lights through it. And then we'll pop a little bit of glue, I think, on the back here. Let's get our next bulb ready. It's gonna be one of these red ones. We're gonna pop this on here. And kind of out here like this. That'll be cute. All right, and you can see our green string of lights here is cooperating by getting trapped underneath here. But let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back of it anyway. Okay, and I'll put a little bit up here at the top, so I'll remember not to grab that part. And then our next bulb is going to be the yellow. And we'll pop this one on here like so. And let's see, maybe we'll point this one down here. There we go. Got some extra adhesive there. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our last bulb on up here. Now we've left the last important part here for the ribbon here at the end. And one of the reasons I like to do that is because I don't like for my notebook cover to be flopping around, you know, when I'm trying to assemble it. But the other reason for that is that you really want a strong cardstock layer here to trap your ribbon. So let's grab our ribbon. I'm using the Shimmer Parakeet Party. What is this one called? Parakeet Party. It's called Parakeet Party. Oh, metallic woven ribbon. And it is a 1/8 inch ribbon, which is very narrow and a little bit undersized here to go with our whole project. It doesn't really have enough oomph, I feel like, to be like a visual presence. So what I'm gonna do instead is go ahead and double it, because double, there's a lot more visual oomph to this ribbon, and so we can kind of have more of a visual appearance from it. So what I'm gonna do, kind of divide this in half, run this out to the side, make sure I have enough ribbon here to tie my bow, which I think I should. And now, I showed you guys a card recently where I had trapped the ribbon into the, oh, it wasn't the card, it was the pick of the patch notebook or gift card holder, the little envelopes. And I showed how I like to trap the ribbon in, because that will mean that the ribbon doesn't fall off every time you open the card or open the project. So you can do that on cards, you can do it on notebooks. I'm gonna go ahead and trap this ribbon underneath here with some tear tape so that we have a nice piece across here where this ribbon is not gonna fall off every time you open your notebook, because, right, we're making our holidays efficient and organized, not more difficult. So I've peeled that off, and then just to give it some more adhesive, I'm going to pop some of our multi-purpose glue on the back. Oh my goodness. We have a beautiful sunny day here, and poor Pepper is sure that she needs to be outdoors. So we'll get her there in a second. All right, hang on, Pep. All right, so I'm gonna set this down, and like I said, I really like to set something heavy on this. So actually, I'm gonna set this here while I let poor Pepper out. That is one of my last Designer Series paper shares. I ended up with just a couple left over. So if you're interested in one of those Designer Series paper shares from the holiday catalog and you thought you missed it, I have just a couple. So message me or send me a comment or something like that. It's a huge package of all the papers, and I can send you a link so you can get the details about that. So let me know if you're interested. Okay, and in the meantime, it's held down our notebook, which is fabulous, and we can set this off to the side. And then, of course, we have our notebook, which opens like this, ta-da, and closes so with such a cute cover. Now, aren't you feeling like you want to get ready for the holidays, like ready for the next season, and just be so organized with all of your to-do lists and shopping lists and all the things? This certainly is the project here to be ready with and to be getting ready for those holidays. And it's a super easy notebook. You could even gift these as a fun holiday gift to people. You could use them as a memory keeper of some kind. You can, of course, you could tape receipts in, or photos or things like that. And if you want to, you can always even stamp on the pages of the paper so that you can kind of continue that holiday theme throughout. So lots of different possibilities for this kind of fabulous notebook. And then definitely not just for the holidays. Like I said, this is one of my most, why can't I tie two here? This is one of my most requested projects throughout the year for teacher gifts or for all kinds of occasions. It's just a fun thing that, I mean, we all make lists, right? Everybody makes a list. Raise your hand if you make a list. Leave a comment if you like to make lists. This is a really fun way to put them together. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Joan. All right, I'm gonna switch our camera back here and just give you a quick reminder. There are two things that you should know about. One, it is free shipping time right now from now until the 11th. So yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Free shipping on order $75 and more. So you get that automatically in my online store. So if you click the link in the comments here on Facebook to get the supply list, then you'll be taken to my online store and you get the free shipping special. If you are on YouTube, you will get the free shipping special also, but the link is not in the comments, it is in the video description. So you'll wanna look for that there. Or you can always visit me at lovenstamps.com on my website for more details and idea galleries, project galleries, treats, gift ideas. There are all kinds of tabs right up there at the top of the store, so that you, or top of my website, so you can find what you're looking for in those galleries, and lots of directions and videos and so forth. So let's see what else. The second thing that I wanted to make sure I told you about is the 35-year anniversary of Stampin' Up. Yay, 35 years. But to help everyone celebrate, Stampin' Up is offering a very, very cool special for new demonstrators. It's 35% off the starter kit, or 35% extra in your starter kit. So you'll want to check details on that if it's something you've all considered. The link is going to be in the comments for that information on my lovenstamps.com website, on Facebook, or in the video description for YouTube. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching. So make sure you like, comment, share, all of the fun interactions for social that help to spread the word about how much fun we have together during Maker Mornings with Meg. So, hey, oh, you're welcome, Barb. I'm glad you like the ideas. And yes, Sue says, always a list maker. And Cheryl, thank you. I'm glad you like the project. All right, everybody. It is Tuesday, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Watch for more videos from me on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Central Time live on the Loven Stamps Facebook page, and then posted later on the Loven Stamps YouTube channel, so you can catch them wherever you like to watch video tutorials. And either way, I love to see your comments and know that you guys are watching and working together. So this has been a fun episode. Hope you guys are ready for the holidays and projects coming up, and I will see you again on Thursday. So, all right, you list makers, time to get busy. Add it to your list. Make notebook that Meg showed us. Bye, guys.